Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 10월 18일 금요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. Every once in a while, a movie or a book becomes so popular that they transcend the big screen and become a topic of discussion. Well, that's the case with a book which also happens to have a movie adaptation, and in both cases, the message has caused quite a heated debate. 오는 23일 영화 개봉을 앞두고 있는 82년생 김지영이 중국 온라인 서점에서 소설 부문 베스트셀러 1위에 올랐습니다. 중국 독자들은 작중 인물 김지영에게서 자신을 발견하는가 하면 지난 30년 동안의 사회 변화에 대해 성찰하기도 했다는데요. 14만 부를 돌파한 일본어판에 이어 중국어판은 현재까지 6만 5천 부가 제작됐다고 합니다. 중국 독자 서평으로는 동아시아에서 살아가고 있는 거의 모든 여성들은 김지영 안에서 자기 자신을 볼 것이다. 부디 모든 남성들이 이 책을 읽었으면 좋겠다는 등의 글이 올라오고 있다고 하네요. Well, how about you? Is there a book or a particular movie you strongly feel connected to? Let us know. In the meantime, let me give you the quiz. When a book is very successful, we can call it this. 1번 bestseller, 2번 best pager, 3번 best booker. 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순환비누 보내드리겠습니다. 또 여러분의 소식과 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay, then let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has announced Turkey's ceasefire in northern Syria for 5 days to let Kurdish-led forces withdraw.
쿠르드 민병대의 철수를 조건으로 5일간 군사작전을 중지하기로 미국과 합의했습니다.
The United Kingdom and the European Union have agreed to a new Brexit divorce deal.
유럽연합과 영국이 3년 4개월 만에 브렉시트 합의안 초안에 합의했습니다.
China has strongly protested against Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's offering to the controversial Yasukuni Shrine.
중국이 일본 현직 강요가 야스쿠니 신사를 참배하고 아베 총리가 공모를 보낸 것에 강력히 항의했습니다.
Opposition members of Thailand's parliament have objected to an emergency decree transferring 2 army units to the command of the king.
태국군 2개 부대를 왕실로 편입시킨 긴급 칙령에 대해 태국 야당이 공개적으로 이의를 제기했습니다.
Known as the Church of Bones, the Sedlik Ossuary Chapel in the Czech Republic has banned selfies with skeletons.
일명 해골 성당으로 알려진 체코 세들레츠 납골당에서 앞으로 사진 촬영이 엄격히 제한됩니다. And for the headlines and more, I'm joined by Steve. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
The weekend is here.
It is indeed. Isn't this a fantastic day?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything this weekend, though.
Well, nor am I, but it's just the fact that the weekend is around the corner
Well,
is
what
nice.
can we do? What can we do? Let's talk about that because we've seen the kind of exciting movies that are in the theaters these days. Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What is the next big movie to come out? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. I'm still kind of relaxing after watching those 2 big blockbusters, so I'm not entirely
this one
sure.
actually, this movie that we talked about in the opening today, it's called 82년생 김지영, and it's based on a novel.
Okay.
It talks about the average life of a Korean mother, and she's in her 30s. So it deals with women in their 30s who have children, and the sort of daily trials they have to go through. And at the same time, the original book, it criticizes how little the husband understands, what this wife or mother is going through. And this book has been made into a movie. It's coming out on the 23rd, so maybe not this weekend, but that's another movie to look forward to.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one, actually.
Yeah. Although, like I just said, there is a bit of a divide between genders on how they see this movie because it does attack one over the other.
Is it attacking men in general or just attacking her particular husband?
Well, in the movie, it's just attacking the husband. But, a lot of people say that seems to be an attack on men in Korea in general.
If a movie is causing conversation, though, even if it is a little controversial, that can be considered a good thing because it could inspire conversations. I think that's a common complaint that we've heard from women here in the country is that they don't get a lot of support at home. Yeah. So maybe this could inspire conversations between husbands and wives, and maybe that would be a good step.
Yeah, I could do a whole 2 hours on the way I feel as a Korean wife and daughter-in-law, but I won't, of course, because there are certain things I never imagined.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew quite a lot before getting into this world of,
children and marriage, and home life and work life.
But then again, I've not been married into another culture before, so I wouldn't be able to compare.
Yeah, right.
But it does seem to me like there are certain, inequalities that a lot of wives and daughters-in-law face here.
I think marriage in general is something that people are never ready for because, you've seen your parents' marriage as an example in many cases, or if you grew up with a single parent, you saw that example as well, but I don't think it matters. I think it's a whole new learning experience for people when they get married, right?
It really is. And what's interesting is that the novel was not only hugely popular in Korea, but apparently it's been translated in Japanese and Chinese, and it's become a bestseller in China as well. So Chinese women relate.
Maybe I should write a book about the hardships of being single in your 40s. Oh, wait, there aren't any.
Let us know what books inspire you this morning. 여러분은 이 책이 참 나에게 많은 영감을 줬다 하는 그런 책이 있으시면은요, 알려주세요. In the meantime, you can of course check our headlines. Go to our website, Morning Special 홈페이지에 들어가셔서 헤드라인 다시 듣기 무료로 하실 수 있습니다. 자, let's go over the headlines.
Headline number 1 this morning, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has announced Turkey's ceasefire in northern Syria for 5 days to let Kurdish-led forces withdraw.
네, 쿠르드 민병대의 철수를 조건으로 5일간 군사작전을 중지하기로 미국과 터키가 합의했습니다.
Yeah, this announcement came after talks in Ankara between Mr. Pence and President Erdogan. A day after Moscow, they declared their willingness to mediate in the conflict if needed. So all military operations will be paused for 5 days, and the United States will help facilitate a quote-unquote orderly withdrawal of Kurdish-led troops from what Turkey has termed this safe zone along the border.
So there's going to be no fighting for 120 hours, which is 5 days. That does seem good, but it does seem like Turkey is saying we're just pausing the attack.
You're right. And Turkey's foreign minister, he was speaking with journalists, and he said the offensive would only be permanently stopped when the SDF has left the border zone. So this is a 5-day break. Mike Pence said that the United States would lift economic sanctions imposed on Turkey when the military offensive ended, but would not impose any more. In the meantime, I thought it was interesting that these talks and this decision came between Turkey and the United States. The SDF was not involved.
The SDF would be the Syrian side.
Yes, they were not involved in the discussions or the decision at all.
아하, 그렇군요. 시리아 측에서도 지금 쿠르드 군을 지금 돕겠다라고 얘기를 한 지가 며칠 되지 않았는데 지금 업데이트된 사실이 터키와 그다음에 미국 간의 어떤 합의입니다. 시리아 북동부 이 지역에서 터키가 일단은 뭐 휴전에 합의했다라는 내용인데요. Washington seems to be saying that this is a wonderful deal, and there's going to be peace in the region, but I don't think Turkey seems to be seeing it that way.
Well, President Trump very happy about it. He said, he tweeted out, he likes to tweet, millions of lives will be saved, and he added later, this deal could never have been made 3 days ago. There needed to be some tough love in order to get it done. Great for everybody, proud of all.
Now, Turkey actually had nothing to lose. In fact, it gained quite a lot from this deal, didn't it?
Turkey, you could say, gained a lot, but I think you could say that this is a good move because when we're talking about saving human lives, right? And we covered the story of refugees on the run for their lives because of the attacks in certain towns along the border. This will give them at least a chance to move peacefully away, right? And their lives will, at least for 5 days, not be at risk.
All right, we'll leave that story there and go on to headline number 2.
Headline number 2 this morning, we're talking back about Brexit again. The UK and the European Union have agreed to a new Brexit divorce deal.
네, 유럽연합과 영국이 3년 4개월 만에 브렉시트 합의안 초안에 합의했습니다.
Right, so European leaders, they were unanimous in this decision. This came yesterday, but it has to be ratified by lawmakers in the British Parliament. That is the main point here. And it appears that that is going to be a tough task for Prime Minister Boris Johnson. They are actually going to have a vote in the House of Commons on Saturday. That's rare, I believe, in the UK,
Yes,
right?
it's even been labeled an emergency meeting. 영국과 EU 간의 이제 브렉시트 초안에는 합의했다라는 내용이 되겠습니다. 지금 보리스 존슨 총리가 EU 정상들을 만나서 회의를 어제 오늘 이렇게 이어서 하고 있는데요. No deal은 피했다라고 볼 수 있겠네요. It looks like, we have avoided a no deal Brexit at least.
Yes, but going back to the point where the opposition needs to support this, and Boris Johnson, he does need the DUP's backing because his Conservative Party doesn't have enough parliamentary seats to get this done. However, Jeremy Corbyn, he is the Labour leader, the leader of the opposition. He released a statement very quickly saying, yeah, that's not going to happen. He said, from what we know, it seems the Prime Minister has negotiated an even worse deal than Theresa May's, which was overwhelmingly rejected.
네, 노딜은 피했지만 여전히 영국 내에서는 영국 의회의 비준이 필요합니다. 그런데 이게 좀 쉽지 않을 것으로 보여져요. 야당도 당연히 반대를 하고 있지만 보수당의 파트너 격인 DUP 역시 반대를 하고 있고요. 영국에서 만약에 이제 비준이 되지 않는다라고 하면은 또다시 난항이 예상이 됩니다. We'll have to see what happens after Saturday, but maybe a referendum?
Maybe there's that massive march that we talked about earlier on in the week, perhaps one of the biggest marches in UK's political history. Also, Northern Ireland is a sticking point here. Northern Ireland itself is not happy with the deal that has been reached. So, yeah, there's a lot of work still to be done. This weekend, though, is going to be an interesting weekend because they will have that vote. So we will see what happens there.
네, 만약에 비준이 된다, 영국 내에서 그러면은 이제 10월 31일 영국이 그 EU를 떠나는 게 됩니다. 그렇지만 이제 비준이 안 되면 어떻게 될지는 또 지켜봐야 되겠네요. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 3 this morning. China has strongly protested against Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's offering to the controversial Yasukuni Shrine.
중국이 일본 현직 강요가 야스쿠니 신사를 참배하고 아베 총리가 공물을 보낸 것에 강력히 항의했습니다.
So China has urged Japan to earnestly honor its commitment of reflecting and facing up to the history of aggression. This coming after Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He sent a ritual offering to the war-linked Yasukuni Shrine. And also some Japanese cabinet members and lawmakers paid tribute to the shrine yesterday on Thursday. But a foreign ministry spokesperson from China said, we have lodged stern representations to the Japanese side. The Yasukuni Shrine, of course, is a spiritual symbol of Japan's past militarism.
Right. And almost every year, not every year, but almost, we've been seeing the prime ministers of Japan sending certain offerings to the shrine. In the past, they would go themselves, but that became so controversial that now they are sending offerings. But that in itself means that they're respecting these war criminals, and China and Korea as well.
Yeah.
just will not have it.
And that shrine honors 14 Class A convicted war criminals from World War II who were directly responsible for its past aggression. And again, another comment from that foreign ministry spokesperson from China saying some Japanese politicians' moves once again show their wrong attitude toward their history of aggression.
네, 그렇습니다. 중국의 외교부 대변인인 공수왕 대변인은 어제 일본이 침략의 역사를 반성하는 그런 입장을 보이지 않고 있다. 약속을 지켜야겠다. 앞으로라는 발표를 했습니다. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 4. Opposition members of Thailand's parliament have objected to an emergency decree transferring 2 army units to the command of the king.
태국군 2개 부대를 왕실로 편입시킨 긴급 칙령에 대해서 태국 야당이 공개적으로 이의를 제기했습니다.
So this decree transferred command of the Bangkok-based 1st and 11th Infantry Regiments from the military chain of command to the King's Royal Security Command. This Thai king, by the way, was crowned in May. This is Thailand's 4th constitutional monarch after taking the throne from his dad back in 2016. But the issue here, a leader from the opposition Future Forward Party said that this royal troop decree, moving troops for the Royal Security Command, which took effect on October 1st, by the way, inappropriately uses an emergency provision of the Constitution. It bypasses Parliament, although it was confirmed by a majority of lawmakers on Thursday. So this is going to happen.
투표상으로 봤을 때는 이제 압도적인 가결이지만 로이터 통신에 따르면은 이제 왕실과 관련된 어떤 공개적인 반대는 태국 내에서 처음으로 있는 일이다 이렇게 얘기를 했거든요. Reuters has said that it is the first time that lawmakers have publicly shown their opposition towards anything about the royal affairs of the country.
Yes, you're absolutely right. First time for them to publicly challenge any legal procedure
I see.
As a threat to the monarchy. That vote, though, that I talked about, the vote result was 376 votes to 70. 2 abstentions were in there. That's according to a final tally that was read out by the speaker. But anyway, all of the votes were against it were from this Future Forward Party.
All right. Moving on to our next story now. Let's go over to the Czech Republic.
Yes, I've never been to the Czech Republic before. Have you?
No, nor have I.
On my bucket list of places to go, as is this church. The headline reads as follows. Known as the Church of Bones, the Sedlec Ossuary Chapel in the Czech Republic has banned selfies with skeletons.
네, 일명 해골 성당으로 알려진 체코 세들레츠 납골당에서 앞으로 사진 촬영이 엄격히 제한됩니다.
So this is a major tourist attraction. The location of this church is about 45 miles outside of Prague. And the reason it's such a big tourist attraction is because of the bones of nearly 60,000 skeletons that were discovered on the site. Those 60,000 skeletons are in the chapel's interior. So this makes this very Instagram worthy.
Yeah.
A lot of tourists come, a lot of tourists take pictures with the bones. Now, the church doesn't have any issue with people taking photos.
Okay.
The problem, though...
This is the picture.
Yeah.
지금 보이는 라디오로 사진을 한 장 띄워드리고 있습니다.
That's the interior of the church.
네, 6만 구의 해골과 뼈로 이렇게 그 성당 내부가 치장이 된 모습이에요.
Yeah, so the church, again, they have no issue with people taking pictures with
That's
the
okay
bones.
then, yeah.
Right, but they do remind people to be polite. They do remind people that these are dead bodies. And some people who have been coming to take pictures with the bones have been behaving inappropriately.
How, for example?
Kissing the skeleton, putting sunglasses on them.
I see.
So that has caused the church to change their policy. So starting in 2020, there will not be a complete ban on taking pictures with the bones. But if you want to, then you are going to have to get permission from the church 3 days ahead of time.
그래요. 해골에다가 뭐 키스를 한다는 그렇게 하면서 사진을 찍는다든지 아니면 모자를 씌우고 이렇게 셀카를 위해서 일부러 좀 우스꽝스럽게 사진을 찍는 일들이 참 빈번하다고 하는데요. 이런 일을 막기 위해서 앞으로 2020년부터는 반드시 3일 전에 이 성당 측으로부터 허가를 받아야만 사진을 찍을 수 있다고 합니다.
I'm not sure how you go about that, if they have a website where you register or if you physically have to visit the church and request permission there.
They did have about 50,000 visitors in 2017 alone, so I'm imagining some sort of online application must be available.
Maybe. It's really sad, though, to think that people behave this way, to disrespect not only the church, but the people. These were human beings, right?
Yeah.
But it's what Instagram is these days, I suppose. Shock and awe, right?
Yes. Okay, well, those were our headlines this morning. Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
Quiz question this morning. When a book is very successful, we can call it a number 1, bestseller, number 2, best pager, or number 3, best booker.
네, 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 무료로 이용 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다.
You know, talking about books this morning, we were talking about Margaret Atwood the other day on the show for the Booker Prize. I think that's going to be my next read. Yeah, because I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, but I haven't read any of her books before, so I think I'm going to pick her up. And she's Canadian, too, so
she is.
I kind of have to, right? Yeah.
네, 끝번호 2582 쓰시는 분이요. 저는 갈매기의 꿈이요. 사춘기 때 저를 붙잡아준 책입니다. 이후로도 힘들 때마다 꿋꿋이 앞으로 나아가게 해줬어요. 라고 보내주셨습니다. I asked our listeners which books inspired them or motivated them, and this listener said, this book sort of held me in place, helped me to go on during my difficult teenage years. So thank you for that recommendation. 김지영님은 안녕하세요. 여기 베트남 호치민입니다. 아침 출근길에 하루도 빠지지 않고 잘 듣고 있는 애청자예요. 첫 오프닝부터 제 이름이 계속 나와서 이렇게 보냅니다. 라고 보내주셨어요. 처음 책으로 나왔을 때도 참 신기해서 읽었었는데 이제는 영화로 참고로 저는 80년생 김지영 남자랍니다.
Okay,
라고 보내주셨어요.
this is not the same Kim Ji-young. I was going to say, I worked with a person at another station named Kim Ji-young for a while, but I don't think it's her either.
It's not an uncommon name.
Yeah, that's right.
김지영님 너무 감사합니다.
Maybe the fact that it's not an uncommon name adds to the message of the film.
Oh, yeah.
It represents, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It could
sure.
represent many people. And the fact that it could be a woman's name or a man's name, right?
That's right, yeah, as is the case here.
So therefore, that kind of adds to the artistry of it too.
All right.
Just a thought.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to take a short song break, and when we come back, we'll look at News Focus and also your messages. This is Flory, Too Young to Remember. I'm too young to remember certain things.
I'm not. I remember all things from the history of the world.
All right. Let's take a look at your messages. 최명숙 님이요. 걸리버 여행기 다시 읽으니까 새롭네요. 그냥 동화가 아니라 풍자소설이라고 하니까 새롭습니다. Yeah, you know those books that you used to read when you were younger and then you grow up and you read them again and you realize there are certain messages. Sometimes they are criticisms about the social system or they have political underlying messages. It's quite intriguing.
It's like a painting. You look at it the first time,
Yeah.
you see some things. You look at it a second time, you'll see something else.
Yeah, and Gulliver's Travels is in a way like that. It's not just a kid's story. 윤세원 님이요. 초원의 집 아이들과 같이 읽으며 너무 좋았답니다. 9권 완독 여러 번 합니다. 자녀가 3명이라서요. 10대인 첫째는 아직도 그 책을 읽곤 합니다. 라고 보내주셨어요. Wow, so many great books. Did you read a lot of books when you were younger?
I was an English major in university.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I read a lot of books in high school, and then because of my major, I read a lot of books. Yeah,
Lots of classics.
for 4 years. A lot of
Yeah.
Chaucer, Geoffrey Chaucer.
yeah.
I brought my Chaucer book with me to Korea, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. A lot of Shakespeare, 4 years of Shakespeare, and then various novels and short stories. A lot of Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I must admit, I don't read much these days, and I think I attribute that to the amount I was forced to read in university. because when something is forced upon you,
Yeah.
it takes the fun out of it, right? So every once in a while, I'll pick up a book. I did read a John Grisham novel not so long ago. I usually enjoy his reads because they're quite light, and not too not too taxing on the mind. Camino Island, I think, was the name of that. If someone's interested in a nice, easy read.
Yeah. Well, Paul Matthews, our book guy for Morning Special, he's already read more than 100 books so far this year.
Oh, wow.
And so I every time I'm amazed as well. I ask him,
Hold on.
Yeah.
100 books this year.
Yeah.
Can someone prove that, please?
So I asked him, like, how do you do that? Isn't that stressful? But I feel like the secret is exactly what you mentioned. He doesn't think of it as work. He just casually reads books. And he reads like 3-4 books a week, but not consecutively at the same time. So what he does is he says it's like watching different TV dramas.
Yep.
You'll watch something on Monday, a different one on Wednesdays, but only parts of it. And then you get back to it, right?
Yeah. The problem I have with that is that if I put a book down for too long, I have to go back and read about
me
3 or 4 chapters because I forget what happens.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
네. 책 얘기하니까 뭐 할 얘기가 참 많은데요. 김수정님, 83년생 김수정입니다. 82년생 김지영을 읽으면서 느꼈던 언니와 친구와 여동생들의 얘기에 동지애를 느꼈던 기억이 생생해요. 기억의 공유가 동아시아 전체로 퍼져나가고 있다니 신기해요. 라고 보내주셨습니다. Yeah, this book we talked about, people around that age, born either in the year 1982 or somewhere around there, they're saying, I can totally relate to this story. And our listener says that as well.
I think and I don't know the details of this book or this story or this film. The film's going to come out?
It's going to come out soon.
Yeah, I don't know the specific details, but I think it will be popular because a lot of people can relate to it, right? And usually those are the songs, those are the movies, those are the shows that are popular. I think that's why Sky Castle was so popular here in Korea because it was so relatable for so many different people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And our listener 빛과 소금님 says, I don't think this is something that's only restricted to Asia. It's probably all over the world. Women, mothers, wives who have their own sort of troubles and woes.
Of course, yeah.
So 동남아시아 여성뿐이겠어요? 라고 하셨습니다. 아마 세계의 남성들이 같이 보면 좋을 것 같습니다. A lot of people are saying men need to watch this. Men of the world need to watch this.
Of course. I think the problem sometimes is that, if you are a husband and you spend many hours a day in the office, and if your wife is a housewife, you think that's an easy job because you're staying at home.
That's where many arguments stem.
I would bet that that's twice as hard.
Yeah.
And if your wife has a job and she goes to the office and comes home and has to take care of things at home, well, that's just obviously not fair at all, right?
All right.
Understand each other, people.
그렇습니다. Keep your messages coming in. If you know the answer to the quiz, send that in as well. If you have any questions, ask away.
I have a question. Jiyoung Shi, how's the weather in Ho Chi Minh this morning? I want to know.
네, 호치민 날씨 어떤지.
I really want to.
베트남에서 듣고 계신 김지영 씨.
Really want to visit Vietnam sometime soon. I've never been before.
No, nor have I.
Yeah?
가까운데 저도 한 번도 안 가봤어요.
Let's do a show. Let's take it on the road.
공개 방송 어때요? 할 수 있을까요? 대답이 바로 안 나오네요. 자, 저자극 순환비누 총 5분께 보내드리도록 할 거고요. In the meantime, let's look at our news focus stories. 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 중국의 국영기업이 남태평양 솔로몬 제도의 툴라기 섬을 통째로 75년간 임대하는 계약을 비밀리에 체결한 사실이 뒤늦게 드러났습니다. 계약을 체결한 지난 9월 22일은요. 대만과 단교한 솔로몬 제도가 중국과 국교 관계를 공식 수립한 지 불과 하루 뒤인데요. Let's listen to the story.
The island of Tulagi served as a South Pacific headquarters for Britain, then Japan during World War II, and now is about to move into Chinese hands. Under a secretive deal signed last month, a Beijing-based company has secured exclusive development rights for the entire island and its surroundings. The lease agreement has shocked Tulagi residents and alarmed American officials who see the island chains of the South Pacific as crucial to keeping China in check and protecting important sea routes.
So the island in question is east of Papua New Guinea. It's sort of northeast of Australia. A very geographically, I suppose, beneficial location for China in case it wants to strike.
In case it wants to have some representation in that part of the world. Yeah.
All right. So the headquarters.
Yes, that's right. So back in World War II times, this island of Tulagi was headquarters for Britain, then Japan. So your headquarters, I think this is a term that we should all know because we work at companies, right? And the companies has their they have their main office, and that main office, the flagship office, if you will, is called the headquarters.
네, 그렇죠. 본부를 headquarters라고 하죠. Now, this was a very secretive deal between a Chinese company and Tulagi, the island.
Yes, so if something is a secret, it means that no one else knows about it, right? So if it's a secretive deal, it means that it wasn't covered in the media. No one talked about it publicly.
Right.
It was done behind closed doors.
그렇습니다.
That's another good expression.
Yeah, it is. Secretive 그러면은 비밀스러운 이런 뜻이 있습니다. 그래서 그냥 진짜 이게 뭐 비밀 딜은 아니었겠지만 그래도 굉장히 비밀리에 체결이 됐다라는 의미죠.
We can use this expression commonly too because sometimes people, they don't want to talk about things. So let's say, for example, your friend had a blind date last night.
Okay.
Right? And then you ask your friend, so how was your date? And your friend says, oh, yeah, it's good. It's good. You say, well, where did you go? I was at dinner. Why are you being so secretive? Why are you being so secretive? Meaning, it seems like you are keeping secrets from me.
그래요. 왜 이렇게 비밀스럽게 하니? 왜 이렇게 말을 안 해? 라는 뜻으로도 secretive를 쓸 수 있습니다. Now, this is a lease agreement of 75 years.
Yes, a lease agreement is a rental agreement, right? So if you lease a car, you are not buying the car, you are renting it over a period of time. This is a long one. Did you say 75 years?
Yeah.
That's a long lease.
그렇습니다. 임대 계약, lease agreement가 여기서 쓰였어요. You know when you want to rent a house, do you have signs that say lease on them in Canada?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, because in England, normally it says to let.
Yeah.
And that means to rent or lease.
Yeah, that's the same word, just or the different, same meaning but different words between Canada and the UK. We call that a lease agreement.
All right. Now this is crucial. This particular part of the world is crucial. And what does it mean to be crucial?
Super, super, super important.
굉장히 중요하다라는 의미의 crucial이 되겠습니다. All right, let's listen to the story one more time.
The island of Tulagi served as a South Pacific headquarters for Britain, then Japan during World War II, and now is about to move into Chinese hands. Under a secretive deal signed last month, a Beijing-based company has secured exclusive development rights for the entire island and its surroundings. The lease agreement has shocked Tulagi residents and alarmed American officials who see the island chains of the South Pacific as crucial to keeping China in check and protecting important sea routes.
Now let's go on to our second news-focused story. 트럼프 미국 대통령이 에르도안 터키 대통령에게 시리아를 침공하지 말라고 경고하는 친서가 공개됐습니다. Let's listen to the story.
Donald Trump warned Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, "Don't be a fool," and said history risked branding him a devil in an extraordinary letter sent the day Turkey launched its incursion into northeastern Syria. Days after appearing to green-light an invasion by pulling U.S. troops from the Kurdish-dominated region, Trump told his Turkish counterpart he would wreck Ankara's economy if the invasion went too far. The president penned, "You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy, and I will."
As we were preparing for this, I had to double check with you. I had to ask, is this really a letter from the White House, an official letter? Because it's so casual.
Yeah, that's what the criticism is from the United States,
Yeah.
too. I mean, when people saw this letter, they couldn't believe that this was an official White House
From
document.
the President of the United States.
Yeah, and if you want to...
지금 보이는 라디오에 띄워드렸어요.
Yeah, there's the letter.
Yeah.
I mean, let's read a little bit of it.
Sure.
Let's work. It says, "Dear Mr. President, let's work out a deal." I mentioned the next part. History will look upon you favorably if you get this done the right and humane way. It will look upon you forever as the devil if good things don't happen. Don't be a tough guy. Don't be a fool. I will call you later. It sounds like a text message.
네. 자, 해석을 이제 그 끝부분 간단하게 해드리자면은, 이번에 일을 제대로 처리하면은 역사가 당신을 좋게 볼 것이고, 그렇지 않으면은 악마로 평가를 할 것이다. 터프가이가 되지 말아라. 바보가 되지 말아라. 전화할게. 이렇게 편지를.
It seems like an odd letter. If you want to, if you're bored at the office or at home this morning and you want to look up some fun things on the internet, America had a really fun time with this letter. They made internet memes out of it.
Yep.
One person did the Star Wars scroll, you know, once upon a time in a land. They did this with this letter. So you can find those on the internet.
To be clear, though, this letter, the revelation of this letter, came before news of this 5-deal truce or whatever you might call it. Pause.
That's right. And, you know, that truce, maybe you could say that Turkey pressing the pause button is a
Came
little...
as a result of this?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe not. But Erdogan's response, when he got this letter, he threw it in the garbage can.
Did he?
Yeah.
아, 그래요.
So that's why when I saw the news today that Turkey had agreed to press pause, I was surprised because I would have thought that this letter would have angered Erdogan.
But the pause is actually said to be quite beneficial to Turkey because certain sanctions are going to be lifted.
Yeah, those sanctions, though, we talked about those, are not really considered to be heavy sanctions in the first place, right?
Okay, well, yeah. So here we're looking at the letter. Donald Trump has warned the Turkish president not to be a fool. He said history risked branding him a devil.
So when I hear the word branding, it's not a nice example, but I think of cows, right? And
yeah.
I guess farms do that.
Yeah.
With the hot metal.
Right.
Well, I didn't know how else to explain it. I apologize. But they brand the cow so that it's clear who the owner of the cow is, right? So it's the same idea.
Right.
History will brand you a devil. It's a figurative expression in this case, but same idea.
Yeah.
Erdogan was a devil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
낙인을 찍다라는 의미의 brand가 여기서 쓰였습니다. 만약에 터키야, 네가 미국의 말을 듣지 않으면은 역사는 너를 악마로 낙인을 찍을 것이다라는 내용의 친서가 공개가 됐어요. Now, days after appearing to greenlight an invasion by pulling U.S. troops out, this is what Trump wrote.
Yeah. So to green light something means to say, go ahead and do it. Think about it. It's easy to think about it. If you're at a stoplight in your car and the light is red, it means stop. If it's yellow, it means be careful. And if it's green, if the light is green, it means go. So we use the expression green light means you approve the doing of something.
Right.
We can use this casually too. If I ask my friend, hey, can you come out for a beer tonight? He said, yep, I asked my wife and she gave me the green light.
네, 명사로 쓸 때는 이제 승인 또는 허가라는 뜻이고요. 여기서는 동사로 쓰였습니다. 그래서 허가하다, 승인하다라는 의미인데 미국이 시리아에서 미군 철수를 함으로 인해서 사실상 터키군이 공격을 할 수 있도록 허가를 해준 거나 다름이 없다. 이렇게 보면 될 것 같습니다. Now, the president said you don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people.
Yeah, killing.
Yeah. 그렇죠. 여기서는 이제 수천만 명의 죽임의 그 책임자로서 남고 싶으냐라는 내용이 들어 있습니다.
Yeah. Slaughtering is killing in an maybe in an inhumane manner. Maybe you could say it like
I normally
that.
think of animals like pigs for pork.
Yeah, usually it's animals when we're talking about this. Yeah.
보통 이제 slaughterhouse 그러면은 이제 도살장을 말하죠. Let's listen to the story one more time.
Donald Trump warned Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, "Don't be a fool," and said history risked branding him a devil in an extraordinary letter sent the day Turkey launched its incursion into northeastern Syria. Days after appearing to green-light an invasion by pulling U.S. troops from the Kurdish-dominated region, Trump told his Turkish counterpart he would wreck Ankara's economy if the invasion went too far. The president penned, "You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy, and I will."
Okay, let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
Quiz question this morning. When a book is very successful, we can call it a number 1 bestseller, number 2 best pager, or number 3 best booker.
책이 굉장히 잘 팔릴 때 이렇게 표현을 하죠. 골라주시면 되겠고요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원, 샵 1045입니다. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순환비누 보내드릴게요. And our listener from Vietnam has answered your question, Steve.
호치민 날씨는 늘 여름입니다. It's summertime.
It's always summertime in Ho Chi Minh, says our listener there.
That's true. 하루에 한 번 골로? What's 골로?
한 번 꼴 means once a day.
요즘은 heavy shower 오곤 합니다. So it rains heavily once a day.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice though, isn't it?
Exactly.
Then the sun comes back out.
Yeah. 그래도 늘 28도에서 33도 사이에서 지내고 있어요. It's always between 28 and 33 degrees.
And then you have some pho. Go to the beach.
My goodness. Wow.
Sounds all right, yeah.
It sounds pretty good. Let's take a break. Stevie Wonder sings For Once in My Life. 자, 다음 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 세계 인권운동의 거목이었던 남아프리카 공화국 넬슨 만델라 전 대통령의 딸이 한국 주재 남아공 대사로 지명됐습니다. Let's listen to the story.
The late anti-apartheid activist and Nobel laureate Nelson Mandela's daughter, Zinani Mandela Dlamini, has been appointed South Africa's ambassador to South Korea. In her previous post, she served as the South African ambassador to Argentina for 5 years and then was appointed as High Commissioner in Mauritius. The new ambassador said, "I am really happy and honored to be serving in South Korea. I think that we've got great bilateral relations and I'll continue to work to strengthen them."
Wow.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite cool. The late anti-apartheid activist and Nobel laureate Nelson Mandela's daughter is who we're talking about.
Yes, exactly. Very exciting news for us here in Korea that she is going to be the new ambassador for South Africa.
Yeah. What does it mean when you say the late someone?
Right. So late, if we look at the word, we probably think like 늦은, right? Like late for work, late for dinner. But this means passed away. Yeah.
You always have to say the late, right? Not
Yes, it always has to have the in front of it. Yes.
네. The late 누구누구 하면 고인이 된 누구라는 뜻입니다. 지금 보이는 라디오로 영상을 띄워드리고 있어요. 예, 영상에는 지금 들라미니 대사의 모습을 보고 있는데요. 외교부에 이제 신임장 사본을 제출했다고 합니다. 그래서 이제 지명이 된 거고 아마 그 신임장 제출을 하게 되면은 또 바로 지명 또 임명이 되겠죠. In her previous posts, she served as the South African ambassador to Argentina for 5 years, and then she was appointed as High Commissioner.
So High Commissioner, a commissioner is someone who is in charge, right?
Yeah.
So the police commissioner. The police commissioner is in charge of all the police. The MLB baseball commissioner, he is in charge of all of baseball. It's the person who's in charge of everything.
High Commissioner, 여기서는 이제 고위 관료라는 의미로 이해를 하면 될 것 같습니다. Bilateral relations is what we're looking at here. They said that we've got great bilateral relations between Korea and South Africa.
When we talk about politics, we often hear this word bilateral, right? And when we say bilateral, we're talking about both sides. So bilateral relations, when you're talking about South Korea and South Africa, it means the South Korean side and the South African side. Bilateral relations.
네, 여기서 앞에 나오는 by가 둘이라는 의미가 있기 때문에 양국 간의 어떤 관계를 말하죠. All right, let's now not remind our listeners actually, but give out the answer to the quiz because already it's that time of the day.
Short on time today, okie
Yes.
dokie. When a book is very successful, we can call it number 1, a bestseller, number 2, a best pager, number 3, a best booker, and the answer is a bestseller.
네, 1번 베스트셀러 골라주신 분들 중에 5분 추첨했습니다. 4924 쓰시는 분, 6693님, 그리고 번호 7383님, 그 다음에는 아이디 다온파, 그리고 이화정님 모두 축하드립니다. 저자극 순한 비누 보내드릴게요. Steve, what is your expression of the day?
Green light.
아하.
Because we can use this very, very commonly at work or at home. So the expression that I gave before, or the example, that I gave before, to get the green light, means that you asked permission for something,
Right.
and then that person, the person of power, they said yes. So it could be at home, like I said. A child could ask their parents, oh, is it okay if I stay over at my friend's house tonight? And they say, yes, you can. Then the child can say to their friend, yay, my parents gave me the green light.
Yeah.
I'll be there soon.
네, 뭔가 이제 허락을 받았을 때 get the green light라는 표현을 쓸 수 있습니다. Alright, let's check a few more messages. 김보정 님이요. 12년간 아마존에서 근속한 한국인이 쓴 책이 최근 읽은 책 중에 가장 기억에 남아요. 빅데이터에 대한 아마존의 열정과 효율적인 업무 처리 방법 등을 생각해 볼 점이 많더라고요. 책 제목은 나는 아마존에서 미래를 다녔다예요. Wow, this looks like an intriguing book. It talks about the future and the Amazon. So normally you wouldn't relate the two together.
The future of internet shopping? That was a joke.
I don't know, actually.
That was a joke.
Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, 난 아마존에서 미래를 다녔다. And the second book here is 김현주님. 저의 베스트 북은요. 말콤의 Outliers입니다. 너무 흥미로웠어요. 이 책을 통해서 발상의 전환, 관점의 다각화, 문제를 다양한 측면에서 보려고 노력하게 만든 책인 것 같아요. This book helped me to look outside of the box and see things differently.
Nice.
Yeah,
Change of perspective
I
then.
love those books.
Yeah.
신혜진님은요. 가장 기억에 남는 책은 해리포터입니다. 책을 별로 안 좋아했었는데 그 책만큼은 너무 흥미로운 내용이 많아서 밤새 읽었던 기억이 나요. Yeah, the Harry Potter series.
Did you
Very
read-
thick books.
Super thick. Did you read any of them?
I think I read the first one, but not the rest.
I see.
I saw the movies though.
I was going to read the Game of Thrones books.
Oh yeah? Are those quite thick as well?
Not so thick, but I bought they are kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
I bought the first one, and in the first 20 pages, there were about 25 characters.
my
And I
goodness.
thought, I can never remember all of these people. I can't do it in my real life. I certainly can't do it in a book. So I closed the book and watched the TV show.
Maybe one day you could write a book about your life and it will possibly be a bestseller.
My mom would read it, I guess.
So would I.
Thanks, Sue.
Have a nice day, Steve.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you for the Saturday show.
All right. Now, coming up in hour 2, we have Say What and Andreas's lifestyle segment. This is Cream, Sunshine of Your Love.